This episode is brought to you by Amazon Business. How can you free up your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders to not only streamline purchasing, but better support their teams so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more about the technology, insights, and support available at amazonbusiness.com.
As a contractor, I don't pay for materials I don't use. So why would I pay for stuff I don't need in my mobile plan? That's why the new MyBiz plan from Verizon Business is so perfect. Now I can choose exactly what I want, and I only pay for what I need.
Right now, with MyBiz plan, get our best price, as low as $25 a line. Visit verizon.com/business to get started today. Price per month with 5+ lines. Includes autopay and paper-free billing and special intro offer discounts. Taxes, fees, economic adjustment charge, and terms apply. Offers end June 10th, 2025.
This is Optimal Finance Daily. 5 Ways We Avoided Lifestyle Inflation to Reach Financial Freedom, Part 1, by Lisa Harrison of MadMoneyMonster.com. After high school, I was dying to get my hands on a brand new car. I had my adolescent sights set on either a colorful GEO tracker or a sporty Mitsubishi Eclipse. After all, I landed myself a job soldering small components together at a local factory that paid me a little bit more than the minimum wage and even came with benefits. It was the kind of job the older generation held onto for decades and retired from. I was young and didn't have much financial prowess in my arsenal. So there I was at 18 years old, having never heard of lifestyle inflation, yet falling victim to it. I bought the Eclipse. After payments, insurance, maintenance, and gas, I was left with less than half my take-home pay for everything else. My first real lesson with lifestyle inflation was a Mitsubishi Eclipse and lasted 60 months. By the time I pulled out the last statement in the payment booklet, yes, it was that long ago, I was 5 years older and a little wiser. I ditched the factory job around the same time and started taking classes at the local community college. Over the next decade, I met many people from all walks of life and tried to garner as much knowledge as possible from each one. What I realized during that chapter of my life was that it didn't necessarily matter how much money you made. What mattered most was how much money you saved, and avoiding lifestyle inflation was key to building wealth and reaching financial freedom. Lifestyle inflation won't get you to financial freedom. In our consumer-driven world, it's not surprising that lifestyle inflation happens to the best of us. We're constantly bombarded with targeted ads for stuff we should want. It's not practical to believe you'll always make the best decision for your money. But if you're smart about most of your money moves, you'll avoid exorbitant lifestyle inflation and be well on your way to financial freedom. I can't say I always avoided lifestyle inflation. I had many financial and emotional ups and downs throughout my adult life. My first taste of lifestyle inflation was that car, but it certainly wasn't my last. I also went through cycles of racking up credit card debt whenever I thought dinners out with friends and designer clothes were more important than making financially responsible decisions. Luckily for me, I've always been coachable and always had an interest in personal finance. To this day, I can remember the money mantras my mom would drill into my head over and over again while growing up. Here are some of her favorites. Every little bit helps. Pennies make dollars. Save as much as you can as often as you can. Always have your own money. Never depend on anyone else. Start saving for retirement as soon as you start working. There's nothing earth-shattering in those mantras, but as a child, it did make me think about money and how it related to my life. And although my mom and dad never built wealth, they always set an example of living within their means. So when my husband and I found ourselves in our 30s and 40s, succumbing to lifestyle inflation by trying to buy a home that was outside of our means, we were disappointed in ourselves and vowed to make big changes. Those changes started by nixing all lifestyle inflation traps, including the big house. So without further ado, here are the top 5 ways we reached financial freedom by avoiding lifestyle inflation. 5 ways we avoided lifestyle inflation. Number 1, we drove reasonable cars. Since I opened up with the ridiculous purchase of that pricey car, I figured I'd make this number 1 on the list. Aside from a few early mistakes in the automobile department, my husband and I have always driven reasonable cars. We currently have 2 2012 models that we purchased pre-owned. The one car is a Mazda 3 that I bought in early 2014. I took a low interest loan on it because I was still a single parent with a single income and couldn't afford to buy it outright. After meeting my now husband and making our money a priority, that car loan was one of the first things to go. Our other car is a BMW X5. Now I know what you might be thinking. Why on earth would we have a luxury vehicle if we're so frugal and financially conscious? The answer is a ridiculous one. The answer is that I have wanted a BMW since I was in middle school. For some reason, that was the brand that got stuck in my head and associated with success. I blame the movies, but can't pinpoint the exact one. On some level, there's a hint of lifestyle inflation in that car, and that's okay, because after many years of good financial decisions, I treated myself and paid cash for it. The total cost was $16,800. That was the most money I've ever paid for a car in my life. And for comparison, I paid $14,000 for the Eclipse and financed it. Despite our 2012 luxury SUV, my husband and I have driven reasonable cars for the entirety of our marriage. And when we did have payments early in our relationship, they were reasonable too. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled 5 Ways We Avoided Lifestyle Inflation to Reach Financial Freedom by Lisa Harrison of madmoneymonster.com. Imagine you're a business owner who has to rely on a dozen different software programs to run your company, none of which are connected. And each one is more expensive and more complicated than the last. It can be pretty stressful. Now imagine Odoo. Odoo has all the programs you'll ever need, and they're all connected on one simple, easy-to-use platform, giving you peace of mind that your business is always being taken care of from every angle. Odoo has user-friendly open-source applications for everything. We're talking CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and everything in between. Basically, if your business needs it, Odoo's got it. Odoo sounds pretty amazing, right? So stop wasting your time and money on those expensive, disconnected platforms and let Odoo harmonize your business with simple, efficient software that can handle everything for a fraction of the price. It doesn't get much better than that. So what are you waiting for? Discover how Odoo can take your business to the next level by visiting odoo.com. That's ODOO.com. Odoo, modern management made simple. This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Apple Card is a no-fee credit card that gives you daily cash back every day. That's 3% back at Apple and 2% back on every purchase made with Apple Card using Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card in the Wallet app on your iPhone today. Subject to credit approval. Variable APRs for Apple Card range from 18.24% to 28.49% based on creditworthiness. Rates as of January 1st, 2025. Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank, USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com. This post reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from Socrates, who said, "The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less." If you always want more, you'll never actually get to a place of contentment, and you'll likely hurt your finances in the process. Avoiding lifestyle inflation is like a superpower when it comes to building wealth. But I think the key is not begrudgingly agreeing to live within your means, but to actually prefer it. This is something we really need to work at because we've been conditioned since birth to be consumers. It really takes a shift in perspective to push back against our consumerist culture. And the way I do this is to recognize the abundance that surrounds me right now. I have a roof over my head, a car that gets me where I need to go, food in the fridge, clean water to drink, and a bed to sleep in. This is all cause for celebration. I like to remind myself that corporations can't successfully sell me anything until they first convince me that what I have now isn't enough. So all that being said, gratitude for what I have now is the best way I've found to guard against lifestyle inflation. Well, that should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day and great weekend. And I'll see you in tomorrow's show, where we'll finish up this post and where your optimal life awaits.